depending on how funds are, my goal is that in late 2024, I'll be able to afford to get a Vortex supercharger kit and put on this thing. Hey everybody, what's going on? We're getting back in the swing of things today. I am actually headed right now. I'm heading over to Parker's place. We are going to get his car ready for hopefully quarantine cruise in January. This car still got a couple little things to flush out. We're probably not going to get it all taken care of today, but we're going to see if we can straighten out the lifter tick issue that he's been having, and maybe do a couple other little things to the car. Then in the afternoon, I'm hoping to put the lowering springs on my car that I got, which will actually probably raise the rear and lower the front, keep the car level. There it is. Definitely still, you know, kind of sagging on the rear. So that's fantastic. Here we go. Yeah, these are pretty sick. Parker got the wheels and tires on the car. I think it still needs an alignment, but that's pretty sick. I'm not like a huge welds guy, but they definitely suit this car. Parker's lifters adjusted, and we are getting it!
So good with wheels and tires.
It's a lot better now?
It's greatly, dude. Night and day. All this garbage like, loving this thing.
I feel like the engine is running better now.
It definitely feels like it. In the 2 seconds we've been on the road, it feels a lot better. But also the wheels and tires is like such a night-and-day difference.
Yeah, that's not shaking at all anymore. That is buttery.
It's so, I'm chilling, dude. Like I feel like I do all the little that I don't want to do, like the sound deadening, the exhaust, and like the holes. Get rid of some of those fumes. They're thinking a cruiser. And I mean the wheel's pretty straight for the most part, dude.
That's that Nick Lang alignment.
Yeah, dude, the Nick Lang special. And all the homies are out. There's some car line or something.
Something.
It doesn't like me uphill with the fifth gear in the wall. Part of me wants to, dude, but
What?
part of me wants to just get on her, but I'm so scared. Walk straight away. Like that. Like I want to go for power.
What?
Interesting.
Why, after all that time?
Why would I want to do it again? That's so funny.
See, I'd be pretty confident if the road was any good. This is a whole different car with these tires.
Yeah, right? No shaking. I can actually go like a little over the speed limit.
That's E5 life, huh?
Yeah. Hey, easy. I'm hoping the T56 will be under the tree, eh? Yeah.
And the engine state just still doing its thing.
Yeah.
Temperature-wise, it's still perfect.
I think you did a really good dialing this thing in there.
Thank you. I feel really good about the tune.
Yeah, it drives really good. There's no brake engine, any of that.
If we just get that little bit of RFI problem figured out, this thing's, it's money.
Yeah, I think it's solid to drive around.
That clutch isn't even that heavy, is it?
No, it's not.
It's not bad at all.
It's very forgiving.
So, okay, that's still touchy.
Yeah. I'm excited.
First is short.
I love this. Just gotta keep an eye on those RPMs.
You can tell I don't know how to drive a stick.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
Crazy car to learn in, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of. You just went balls to the wall with this one. But hey, if you could drive this, you can drive anything.
Yeah, the brakes aren't bad though.
You don't think so? That's what I really wanted you to feel.
I don't feel like they're, I mean, I don't know what manual brakes should feel like, but I don't feel like they're bad. Shifting all the time in this thing. All right, I'm going to get on the brakes, okay?
Okay.
So grab the dab. I don't know. I don't feel like they're that bad.
You don't think so?
I left it in gear. I didn't put
Yeah,
the
I know.
clutch in.
I can't. I need you to get a manual car. This is interesting. I haven't. Yeah, wow. First time I've driven in this thing.
I've barely driven a manual before.
Really?
Hardly at all.
You're doing good, dude.
All right, guys. Parker's car is a lot better now. Still got a little RFI issue. We know that the air cleaner is causing it. It's reflecting all of that RFI from the distributor right into the Holley Sniper setup. So we're going to come up with a shield and some solution for that. But it's driving really well now. We got his lifter issue taken care of. So now I'm moving on to my car. So this thing just did power tour, over 1,000 miles, drove really nicely. Pretty happy with it. I could go over a million small issues that I had with the car, but a couple of bigger ones to me are steering slightly twitchy. Car doesn't have a good alignment. It's probably part of it. And the rear end is sagging. Like ridiculously so. Compared to the front especially. Now the front, to some of you that probably seems like a pretty tall ride height in the front. To me, that's not that tall of a ride height compared to how this car was when I got it. I actually lowered the front probably 2 inches over what a stock Caprice comes. The rear is probably lowered like 4+ inches. And I'm trying to level the car out. So let me show you what I got. I bought a set of Eibach lowering springs that are spec for a 1996 Impala SS. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw these on the car and hope that they give me what I'm looking for. I got the rear springs in. I didn't even need to compress them. And to be honest, it might have lowered it more, which is crazy. It's the stuff I had in there. They might end up back in there. We'll see. I'm going to lower the front and hold on to those for a while for sure. That's crazy. All right, guys, I'm a little dirty now. I got the car on the ground. Here's the big reveal. This is the front. This is quite a bit lower. To be honest, I like it. That's the rear. This, to be honest, that's still too low. In fact, the very end of the car is definitely further from the ground. But I think at the tire, I think the rear is actually lower than it was, not higher than it was. So probably gonna end up with some spacers in the rear. Bring it up an inch. We'll see. I still gotta put all the tools away, and I'll roll this thing out somewhere where you can see it a little bit better. But actually really happy with the fit in the front. That's a pretty muscle car. Rear's a little too low, but this is pretty muscle car. All right, guys, so with this thing lowered like this, I thought I'd give you a quick update on kind of where I plan on taking the car in the future. My theme for the car has been kind of like CTS-V or Chevy SS if they made it in the 80s. I'm going with the Cadillac theme. I've got the Cadillac Brembos. I'm going to end up with the Cadillac engine cover. I've got a few other plans to kind of keep with that vibe, but what I'm really looking for is for this to be, it'll be called pro touring in a way because I want it to be good at everything. I want it to be great on the street, drive really, really nicely, but I also want it to be pretty quick in a straight line. I'd like to be able to take it to the drag strip occasionally. That's not going to be its main purpose. Its main purpose is going to be as a daily drivable freeway cruiser. And for the next few months at least, this probably is going to be my daily driver because the wife's Flex is having some issues. But with all of that said, kind of my roadmap for what I'm going to do with the car is this year finish getting the suspension dialed in. I think it's pretty close now. Lift the rear an inch, throw some new shocks in the rear, a couple little things like that. And then what I really, really want to do is I want to find a way to throw some boost at this thing. I'm happy with the way that it drives. It drives great, but I'd like it to pick up and be just a little bit quicker. So in keeping with that, depending on how funds are, my goal is that in late 2024, I'll be able to afford to get a Vortex supercharger kit and put on this thing. There's a lot of different options. I could go big turbo, I could go twin turbo, I could go with a LSA type supercharger, I could go with a centrifugal supercharger. I don't particularly have a preference on company. I definitely prefer centrifugal to Roots type. There's a lot of nuances, and the truth is I'm not extremely familiar with a lot of things in the boosted world, but I intend to learn, and I'm definitely excited to continue taking the car down this route. You can see it's super, super dirty, but the car did great on our road trip. Power to our 1,000 miles. If you haven't seen those videos, definitely check them out. And overall, I'm super satisfied with it. All right, guys, so talking about boosting this thing, basically all the turbo kits, all of them, I literally haven't found a driver's side kit. They put the turbo right here, kind of towards where the back of the AC compressor is. And that's great if I wasn't running AC or if I had the AC way down in the factory truck position. But the problem with that is it would have to be modified. The cross member would have to be cut to make that happen. And I'd have to have different hoses. It gets expensive. This was actually the cheapest way to end up with AC in this car. And it uses a factory hose for a 1990 Caprice. So I really liked that. Superchargers, most of them end up on the other side too, but Vortec makes a couple of different kits. Put a supercharger right here, which I kind of like the idea of. Now there's a couple different kits. I'd have to figure out exactly what I need. This line could pretty easily be reworked to be more out of the way. Could be made a little bit longer. There's a couple different lines available that would bolt right in where this is and be more out of the way. I just have to pick one, and this one might be leaking here. Pretty sure it is, actually. Can't quite, not 100% sure. Might be leaking there. Might just be water. That's the new stance. It looks really good in the front. I definitely want to bring the rear up a little. A lot better now though. Definitely like to bring the rear wheels out another inch or so. Gotta keep this trash looking clean. All right, guys, so after driving the car around for about a week, the rear suspension might have actually settled a little bit. The front had settled a little bit too, but overall the rear was still lower than the front, and that's not really what I wanted. So what I did is I went ahead and I got some 1.5-inch spacers. I'm going to show you those installed right here. So what these do is they just go underneath the spring, keep the spring from, put the spring under a little bit more preload. Now I actually had no preload. The spring at full droop was actually floppy in there. It was retained, but it was floppy. I was actually able to just push the spring enough by hand to fit those in there, which is kind of crazy. But it's under a tiny bit of preload now, so we're good. All right, first impression. This is much closer to level now. Pretty happy with it. It's still so much lower than the car came stock. Actually, it looks like the rear might just be barely higher than the front, which I'm okay with. I think I got the right height where I want it.